Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon Thomsen, Artistic Director of Quincy Community Theater and the proud director of Little House on the Prairie, the musical. And today I am here with Elizabeth Mannhardt, the vocal director for Little House on the Prairie. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Brandon.
And as you can see, we are both sporting our Little House bonnet. Now, I think mine is pretty special because mine comes from Walnut Grove, Minnesota, where the Ingalls family live. And it's even signed by Allison Armgrim, who played Nellie Olson on the television series Little House on the Prairie.
Brandon, that's very special, although Nellie, not everyone's favorite.
Oh.
My bonnet, though, comes from the official Memorial Society of De Smet, which is where our musical takes place, if you would remember, and has many lovely details. I would say my bonnet is superior.
We'll let the viewers decide. Now, Elizabeth, I'm so thrilled that you are joining the team as part of Little House on the Prairie, the musical. You are the vocal director. Tell us, what does a vocal director do?
Well, the vocal director really tends to everything vocal in the show, so both soloists and ensemble, making sure that everyone has resources to learn their parts. Also feels very well rehearsed ahead of time, both as a unit, collaborating together in the ensemble, but then also the soloists, duets, and quartets that we find in Little House.
You've been a part of many QCT productions, on stage and off stage. What was it about Little House on the Prairie that you said, I want to be a part of that?
Well, first of all, just hearing Little House, obviously, piques my interest because, I grew up, my mother read the stories to my brother and I when we were little. And then I read them myself. I have my grandma's beautiful vintage collection of them. I read them every single year. I just finished them again over the summer. And of course, growing up with the iconic television series, Michael Landon, Melissa Gilbert, those wonderful characters, just seeing the stories come to life. And being a musician, being a teacher, I wanted to be a part of creating that on another level, now in a musical form.
As you mentioned, there is no cast recording of this show, so it's very new to us and to Quincy audiences. It toured the country. It starred Melissa Gilbert playing Ma, which I had the great fortune of seeing, and I loved it. How would you describe the music to this show?
Oh gosh, so there's a great scope to it, very, very reminiscent of the large sky and the vast prairies. There's almost this cinematic feel in places, but then in that broadness, you'll come to something very intimate, very quiet, and very eclectic sort of sounds, sparse instrumentation, and close vocal harmonies and things like that. I think there's sort of a sound for everyone. Yes, there's the traditional music that you would have heard at that time, had you been alive at that time. There are homages to what my sister, the percussionist, would call boom chick in the score. Lots of boom chick, which you would find in that time period. But then it really pulls the lens out, and you have these very sweeping melodies, and it's a great mix. There are moments where I say, oh, this is so Les Mis, or these two measures are West Side Story. And then you just have these really fun character numbers that, will have everyone's toe tapping and belly laughing, for sure.
And what sort of encouragement would you give to people to audition for Little House on the Prairie?
In this musical, they're coming out of the Civil War. They're coming out of a lot of political division. And I think in our country, we have felt a lot of political division. That's something we can relate to. And they're experiencing together this famine. In the winter, they're starving. And so they're very separated by the winter conditions, but then they're also unified by this life-altering and potentially fatal condition. And I think the last few years, we can all relate to that sort of situation. So these are very real problems and real stories. The songs just highlight that, singing about uncertainty in love, feeling like you're going to let the people you love down. Everyone experiences those things. And so I think a huge part of wanting to be in this show will be that you get to embody someone's real life. You get to tell those real emotions and real stories, and it will not feel foreign to you. It's not someone in a distant place. It's literally the people that lived here, that created here for us to be able to do this.
Right. And one thing that I think this musical does so well is it speaks to the spirit of community. And I think it's so befitting then that a community theater is doing this show. And I'm excited and very grateful that you are a part of this community and will be a part of this show.
Yeah, me too.
And we hope you will too. And I still think my Bonnet's better.
I don't know, Brandon. Original, handmade especially for the Laura Ingalls Wilder Memorial Society Incorporated of Smith, South Dakota.
Nellie Olson, right here.
Really?
And as you can see in the spirit of the show, we are both donning our bonnets. I think mine is pretty special because mine comes, let's just start over. I thought you were going to repeat your line. I think mine is pretty special. So,
When have I ever done any line the same twice?
all right, I'm not going to say it this time.